Hi guys, Kellan and I spend all of our time trying to figure out how to navigate complicated cannabis challenges. Today, we're excited to bring to you a solution for your accounting needs. Navigating 280E, keeping clean books, and providing financial and accounting advice is a massive headache for so many businesses. End to End is a team of CPAs with backgrounds from the big public firms that specialize in the cannabis industry. End to End is offering a no-cost consultation if you tell them the dime sent you. That's right, free accounting advice. Go to n2nadvisors.com now to take advantage of this. That's N, the number 2, NADVISORS.com to get free accounting advice now.
Let's talk about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. That's right. No more excuses. Get your lazy ass off the couch. Go start a podcast. There's the creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Once again, no more excuses. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Couldn't be easier. Even better, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's right. They're paying us for this ad. Thank you very much, Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started now.
This is The Dime, a 10-minute dive into the cannabis and hemp industry through trends, insights, predictions, and tangents.
Good morning, everyone. This is the week of June 4th. This is The Dime. As always, I've got my right-hand man, Kellan Finney, with me. And this week, we're talking about a cannabis milestone. Green Thumbs Industries reports first quarter revenue of $102 million, making it the first American cannabis company to exceed $100 million in quarterly revenue. For those who don't know, Green Thumbs focuses its business on two main categories, retail and consumer packaged goods. The company has a footprint and sells its products in 12 states. It currently has 45 open stores, while 96 retail licenses gives it the option to open many more. Its operations are currently deepest in Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Florida. Kellan, are you familiar with their products, and have you been to any GTI stores?
You know, honestly, Bryan, I'll have to, I wasn't familiar with GTI maybe a year ago. And then I saw one of their brands called Rhythm, I think. Really, really, really clean packaging and really good branding. Personally, I like simple branding, and I think that their product was really, really well done from a branding standpoint in terms of that simple message, simple packaging, really clean. And so their brands are clean, right? But I haven't been to one of their retail stores even when I was in Illinois. I hadn't really heard of them other than just that one brand. And then just like everyone else, I just saw that they posted $100 million quarter and was like, wow, I guess they're flying under the radar. They're not trying to be very public, which I think all of those things kind of signifies that, hey, they're focused internally and they're doing a good job taking steps forward every day. Had you heard of anything to do with GTI? I mean, over in New York, I know that they might have something in Pennsylvania going on. Bryan?
So I first came across GTI 2 years ago at the MJBizCon conference, where Jennifer Dooley, the chief strategy officer, spoke on behalf of the company, and it blew my mind. Her technique, her leadership skills, her perspective on the market, her positioning, her understanding on how marketing works, and how the consumer behavior plays a real role in my branding aspect, and just from an overall strategic standpoint, I was blown away. So that kind of really opened my eyes pretty aggressively. In regards to their products, not so familiar, but for me now, I bet more on the jockeys than the horse as the world starts to evolve and cannabis starts to slowly become a mainstay. So for me, I look more to the leadership side, and I really believe in what Jennifer had to say, and I'll trust from that standpoint. Kellan, GTI's home state is in Illinois and seamlessly took advantage of the transition from medical to adult use. What state and company do you see utilizing this strategy in the future?
I know probably the best answer is probably going to be Trulieve in Florida, but I'm going to go with Columbia Care in your home state, New York, so you can't pull that one out. But yeah, I think the Columbia Care is doing a lot of things that are really similar to what GTI did. They're flying under the radar. They're not trying to be front and center. They're really internally focused, really focused on organic growth, and they have a really, really strong management team. And I think that the combination of those things together, as well as being positioned in one of the most densely populated states as a headquarters with New York, really plays well. There's a lot of people there, and I think it'll generate a really, really stable stream of revenue for the company as they expand into all of these other states and international waters, if that makes sense. I mean, now that I took Columbia Care out of your wheelhouse, Brian, what's your jam? What do you think?
So I'm going to take Trulieve. I think Florida, they've got Florida locked up. They're absolutely crushing it. And I think following in the footsteps of GTI and going from medical to rec, I think Florida, it's on the path to kind of converting in potentially this year. I think Columbia Care, New York is a easy one. I wonder if New York makes the move this year. I continue to believe that it happens this year. And I wonder if it's not just New York. Is it New York, Arizona, New Jersey, and maybe even Florida as well? There could be, Cody Sanchez thinks there could be 8+ states that are going to go rec this year. I wonder what those 8 are. And I think you'll see a bunch of people follow in GTI's footprints of going from medical to rec. Prediction time. GTI was the first American over 100 million marker for the quarterly revenue. Who is the next?
I know that Curaleaf and Trulieve and Cresco are all like kind of really right there, close to the $100 million mark. I know that they almost posted it, but I'm gonna go just out of the blue, and I'm gonna go with a cannabis ret. I think that here maybe in the next 2 or 3 quarters, based on some of the moves that these real estate investment trusts that are backing these cannabis companies are doing, I think that you're gonna see, as they keep acquiring property, I think that the rent from the property with their partners are going to lead to over $100 million quarter for one of these rets flying under the radar. IPR is my guess.
So I'm going to disagree with you. I think real estate is going to be in for a bubble. From my understanding of what's happening currently, especially here in New York, people are leaving the city. And a lot of people are leaving the city because they are sick of paying God knows how much money to live in a box, to be on top of each other, to be told that they can't do all these things. So it's been a tough time for them. And I think there's been a large shift to outside into the suburbs. And I wonder if there's going to be a housing bubble with people having a hard time paying their mortgages. And I think that the effects of what's happened with Corona still haven't really taken place yet from an economic standpoint. And I think that will cause a lot of real estate companies to have tremendous issues. So from a company standpoint, I'm going to go back to Trulieve and think that they're going to crush it as soon as Florida goes, which hopefully is soon, that they'll have a real opportunity to expand. They're absolutely destroying the medical market. And I think once people can use cannabis for medicinal purposes in a personal setting, I think those numbers will absolutely skyrocket. Thanks for everyone for joining us.
I'm Larry Michigan. I'd like to invite you to join Jim, Marty, and me on our weekly podcast, The Deadhead Cannabis Show. Each week we explore the latest cannabis and jam band news and reminisce with other cannabis industry deadheads and jam band aficionados about the great musical acts that we've seen and heard. Check out a new episode every Monday at MJBizCon or wherever you listen to podcasts.